Hello friends, today we are going to see vapor compression refrigeration system or cycle. So first part we will see the schematic and its working, and in second part we will draw pH, that is pressure versus enthalpy, and temperature versus entropy graphs for two conditions. Okay. So first part is a schematic of vapor compression refrigeration system or cycle. So as its name suggested, there is a compression. So compression always takes place in a unit, that is a compressor. So we will start our diagram from a compressor unit. So we will draw one compressor. Simple representation of compressor. Then there is a piston cylinder arrangement, so piston. As I explained in a previous video of 4-stroke SI engine, so in the same manner we will draw the construction for the compressor. Direction of this compressor unit, so clockwise direction. So this is our compressor. Many times you observe that in a household refrigerators, so backside there is one spherical ball, black color, that is a hermetical sealed compressor. So we are drawing here the schematic for reciprocating kind of compressor. Now at the beginning, suppose we don't know what kind of a refrigerant is coming inside this compressor unit. It is either dry saturated vapor refrigerant, or it is wet vapor, that is a mixture of liquid and vapor refrigerant. So we don't know. So we will come to know at the end when cycle get complete. So whatever be the kind of refrigerant taken inside. Now what is the refrigerant? So refrigerant is a fluid which get vaporized at a very low pressure, even though at atmospheric temperature it get vaporized. So such kind of fluid is used as a refrigerant, and most commonly it is ammonia or CO2 gas, like that. Even though now recently we use R refrigerant, so R122, R134, like that. So whatever be the refrigerant coming inside the compressor, during compression's operation, that refrigerant get compressed to very high pressure, and corresponding temperature will also increase. And as the temperature increases, so this incoming refrigerant get converted into vapor form. So output of this compressor unit after compression, so output will be high pressure refrigerants. So high pressure, then high temperature, vapor refrigerant. So after compression, no doubt it is having a high pressure, high temperature, because it may be possible our refrigerant reach to superheated condition, so high temperature. Then form phase of refrigerant become vapor, because whatever be the intake after compression, high temperature, everything converted into vapor form. Now vapor may be a dry saturated or it reached to a superheated state. Now such a property refrigerant which is coming out from this compressor unit is supplied to condenser. So we observed that on a freeze or refrigerator, household refrigerator backside previous days, there is a coil, black coil. So actually that is a tubes. That coils are the tubes through which a refrigerant is flowing. So such kind of tubing section is there. And this is known as a condenser unit. Condenser. But this tube itself surface is not enough to cool down this high temperature refrigerant. So what we did, we increase the surface area by providing some fins. So there is fins provided, so it will then look like a mesh. So such fins actually help to increase the overall surface area for convection. Now where to connect this outlet of our compressor to this condenser unit? If I connect this outlet at the bottom of condenser, what happens? The outlet is a vapors, high temperature vapor. It will flow and move in a upward direction. Meanwhile, when it gets condensed, so it becomes liquid, and liquid having a tendency to flow down due to the gravity. So vapor try to move upward and liquid try to move downward, so there is a blockage. So always output of compressor is connected to the top side of condenser unit. Now what happened? Vapor entered to condenser, moving. When heat is extracted, converted into liquid. Liquid also move in the same direction due to gravity. So there is no any blockage. So smooth flow is there. Next, the condenser unit only help to work on this factor, temperature. Pressure, it is not affecting at all in a condenser unit. So output of this condenser unit is having high pressure because pressure remains same, but temperature reduces. If it is a superheated vapor, then it reduces to saturated vapor. So temperature reduces, so low temperature, and as temperature reduces, so vapor form get converted into liquid, phase change take place, so liquid refrigerant. So output of this condenser unit is high pressure, low temperature, liquid refrigerant. But we are not supplying whole quantity to the evaporator, that is a cooling unit where we produce a cooling effect. Because many times we observe that our freeze is not fully occupied with the food content. If it is fully occupied, we require more cooling effect. So we have to supply more refrigerant. If it is half empty, then less cooling effect required. So we supply less amount of refrigerant. For that we have one receiver, that is the storage unit. So this is simply a receiver. Receiver does not take part to change any parameter. It is simply a storage device. So whatever is the property coming out from a condenser, at the same property it is simply storing in this storage device. So this is a receiver only. So what is the property of a refrigerant in a receiver? High pressure, low temperature, liquid refrigerant. Now, as per the requirement of cooling load, we supplied a refrigerant quantity to evaporator unit, and this refrigerant quantity having this property. But before supplying to evaporator unit, we have to reduce the pressure. Now the question is why? Because evaporator is going to work with the temperature and phase only, not with the pressure. But if we are not reducing the pressure, so there will be high pressure throughout the system, and in that case there will be no flow of refrigerant. For the flow purpose, we must have high pressure region and low pressure region, so that there will be a continuous flow of refrigerant. So now we have to reduce the high pressure. For this, we pass through this refrigerant through one unit that is known as throttling valve or expansion valve. Many times capillary tube also used for this purpose. What happened in this throttling valve? It is a partially open valve. Very small opening is there. So when high pressure refrigerant try to pass through that small opening, so it resists, and to overcome that resistance, it loses its pressure. So pressure gets reduced to this. And as it is a very small opening, so during the flow we obtain a throttling process there. So this is called as many times throttle valve. It is generally expansion valve, or many times throttling process takes place in this. So it is also called as throttle valve. Now in throttle valve, during passes, it is not affecting temperature and not on a phase. It will affect only pressure, and during pressure, so outlet of this throttling valve is reduced pressure. So outlet of this throttling valve is low pressure, because pressure is reduced. Low temperature as it is, and phase is liquid. Liquid refrigerant. So this refrigerant is now supplied to evaporator unit, the unit where actually cooling takes place. Cooling effect we produce. So low pressure, low temperature liquid refrigerant we are supplying to evaporator unit. Now evaporator unit, we externally if we observe, so it will be just like a cabinet, but outside of this cabinet there is a tubings. So outside of that refrigerating unit box, there is tubes provided, and through that tubes this refrigerant passing to continuously. And this is a evaporator unit. Okay, I will write here. Evaporator. Now suppose we kept one water bottle in an evaporator unit. So suppose there is one one food container or water bottle. Now what happened? Suppose the water bottle is at room temperature, we kept inside the evaporator and we set a temperature for that evaporator unit, suppose minus 10 degrees centigrade. So what happened now? This low pressure, low temperature liquid refrigerant come into the evaporator unit and it will extract heat from this water bottle or food container. But which kind of heat? Not a sensible heat, only latent heat. So when it extracts a latent heat, then this liquid refrigerant get converted into vapor form and it will move ahead. It is not steady, it is continuously moving. So liquid refrigerant enter into the evaporator unit. During its pass, it will extract latent heat, convert it into vapor form and move ahead. From backside again, next liquid refrigerant come, it will again extract heat. Obviously latent heat, phase change take place and vapor form, it will come out again. So it will repeatedly liquid refrigerant enter, extract latent heat and move ahead as a vapor form. And this is continue heat extraction take place till this food container or water bottle reach to your set temperature. Suppose it is minus 10 degrees set temperature. So unless this water bottle contained become a minus 10 degree, it will extract the heat. And it is also not necessary that the portion coming or entering into the evaporator, that portion completely vaporize. It may be partially vaporized and come out. Again backside, again liquid refrigerant come, partially vaporize and come out. So it is not necessary that particular refrigerant portion will completely vaporize by extracting the latent heat, then only it will move out. Okay, and once the set temperature reach, we observe that compressor unit auto switch off. So many times we observe after some time freeze sound is off. So that is we reach to the set temperature, so working stop. And as the working stop, refrigerant flow is stopped, so cooling effect stops. So temperature rises. When set limit crossed, then again compressor work and refrigerant pass through, again our temperature drop down. So evaporator unit, which is providing cooling effect. Now whatever be the output of this evaporator unit, as I said, it is not necessarily complete vapor form. It may be a mixture of liquid and vapor refrigerant. So this kind of refrigerant will supply to compressor. So our output of evaporator is, no doubt it is not working on a pressure. So pressure remains as it is, low pressure. Temperature, it is not going to change the temperature. Why? Because it is only extracting latent heat. So phase change takes place, but temperature remains same. So low temperature and liquid refrigerant, so it gets partially vaporized. So it is always a mixture of liquid plus vapor refrigerant. Even though you can say it is a wet vapors. So this is our complete vapor compression refrigeration system. Now when we try to write the working of this, start from compressor. Compressor, where the incoming refrigerant get compressed to high pressure, high temperature, and due to rise in temperature, complete refrigerant converted into vapor form. This high pressure, high temperature vapor then supplied to condenser unit, where during condenser tubing, by convection, heat is extracted from the refrigerant and refrigerant cooled down. So output of this condenser unit is high pressure, because condenser not working on a pressure, but its temperature become low temperature, and as the temperature reduce, so its phase get changed from vapor to liquid. And this property refrigerant is stored in one device, that is called a receiver. And this receiver supplied quantity of refrigerant according to the load, refrigerating load. Now this supplied of refrigerant, high pressure, low temperature liquid refrigerant, first pass through the throttling wall or expansion wall, where during passing pressure get reduced. So output of throttling wall is low pressure, low temperature liquid refrigerant. This property refrigerant then pass through evaporator unit, which is actually a cooling unit, where liquid refrigerant during pass extract the latent heat from food content and get vaporized. And this is continually, the process is continue. The refrigerant come in a evaporator unit, extract the latent heat and move ahead. This is continued till your food content reach to set temperature. So output of this evaporator unit is low pressure, low temperature, but a mixture of liquid and vapor refrigerant. And this property refrigerant is supplied to compressor and cycle heating. And what is the use of compressor and throttle valve? Compressor rising pressure, throttle valve reducing pressure. So it is only for maintaining the flow. If system having the same pressure, then there will be no flow of a refrigerant. So we have to maintain a flow of refrigerant. So we have to maintain two regions, high pressure region and low pressure region. So this is a simply schematic of vapor compression